Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. It's your boy True and Funny, and today's day is Tuesday, July the 20th. 2020th. So speaking of number 2, before we get to the meat of this video, there's 2 things I want to get off my chest real quick. By the time I'm recording this video, or by the time this video drops, that is, Pokemon Unite will be out, and I am so excited. I cannot wait to play that game. So if you want to see me play Pokemon Unite again, then make sure you follow me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/true_inferno. I will be live streaming Pokemon Unite starting on Thursday at around 8:39 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, I will be doing it on Saturday around the same time frame as well. And then of course, next week and for that point going forward. Now, I will also be more than likely appearing in other streamers' gameplays like Jesse and Rachel's, Trainer Tips, Awesome Adams, and whoever else that can give me the invite to play. I will be there without question. I will be there. So do not miss Pokemon Unite on the channel. And I'm close to 1,000 followers, so make sure you give your boy a follow so we can have a community stream. So I want to make sure we do a community stream and celebrate me reaching 1,000 followers on Twitch. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the shirt. Got the brand new Pokemon Master Holly shirt. Came in the mail today. Rocking it with my Air Jordan 11s retros, the black and white ones that are on my feet right now. So I'm looking dripped out. I'm just dripping with the looks today. So there you go with that. Now let's get on with the meat of today's video, and that is this: Go Fest. So this past weekend, Go Fest happened, and I want to talk about my thoughts on Go Fest, or share my thoughts with you guys rather. So let's start off with day 1. So day 1 to me, I'm gonna be honest, that was the best day 1 ever. That was the best day 1 ever. Now, yes, there were some flaws, but I like the habitats. They had different habitats and they rotated around twice. So that was good as well. I really, really like that. The unknowns was out, the F and the G. The new shinies was out there. The shiny rates was up there. I caught about like 44 shinies on day 1. Which is really, really cool. I ended up with 55 shinies total overall day 1 and day 2. Really, really dope stuff if you ask me. So I like that. Now there's 3 issues about day 1 that I did not like, and that is this. So the first issue about day 1 was the instance spawn. So here's the deal with the instance spawn. So you have Pokemon that was spawning from instance, Pokemon that was spawning from lures, and Pokemon that were just spawning out and around. So I should not be seeing a Snivy or a Rubat that was spawning out and around, also spawning off of an instance. That should not be the case. I should not be seeing common spawns like that spawning both in the round and off of an instance. So an example of what I would accept was Audino. I did see Audino spawning around and off of an instance. Why? Because that's a brand new shiny. Same thing with Chimecho. Why? Because that's a brand new shiny. Same thing with Whismur. Even though it's generally a common spawn, but I would accept that, right? Because it's a brand new shiny. Now I also saw Snorlax spawn not in the round, but off of a lure and off of an instance. So that I will accept that as well. So it should be just the new shinies, the rare shinies, and Pokemon that was restricted to instance only that should be spawned off an instance, like the unknowns, for example. So that should have been the case on day 1, and especially that should have been the case on day 2 when like random stuff was spawning all over the place. So I did not like that as well. We're gonna get more on day 2 later, but let's get back to day 1 though. Now, another thing I didn't like about day 1 was you have to walk. So these are like 2 things in one here. You have to walk a kilometer with your buddy, and then separately you have to walk to hatch an egg. So while for me personally that was not a problem, while for I want to say most people in the US that might not be a problem, but everywhere else all around the world, I have no clue where, but somewhere out there that was a problem, because there's a little thing I like to call a pandemic that is still going on to this day. So there's certain places that are locked down. People may not have been able to go out and about to hatch eggs, to walk their buddy and things of that nature. So I didn't like the fact that people had to go and do that. And then to make things even worse, there was like they had to do those on 2 different steps. And it wasn't like back-to-back steps either. It was like step 4, hatch your egg. And then like steps 8, go walk with your buddy. And I'm like, what? Like, if you want to go make people walk, put them 2 in the same step. Or put them in back-to-back steps. So that way, before they can decide, oh, well, I walked my step or whatever, I'm about to go home. Oh, I got to do it again. Okay, let me get it off the way then. As opposed to, oh, I got to walk a step. I'm done. I'm going home. Continue to play the game. Really? Now I got to hatch an egg. Now I got to go back. See, it's too much of a hassle for those who are dealing with the pandemic. Again, it's not that big of a deal in the U.S., but again, not everywhere around the world is the U.S., thank goodness. But that was not a good move on Niantic part or the Pokemon Company's part. Whoever came up with the steps, more likely Niantic, but that was not a good move in my opinion. But aside from making people walk, and aside from the instant spawns, which was also issued day 2, day 1 was phenomenal. I really liked the day 1. Again, it was the best day 1 ever in my opinion. 2017, there was only 1 day, and we all know how that turned out with the poor cell service. 2018, their day 1, Verizon users had a poor day 1 service, but again, my play day was day 2 rather, so day 1 didn't really affect me, not to mention I'm not even a Verizon user. Then of course there was 2019, I missed day 1 completely because of my best man duty, so it was day 4 for me. But either way, I haven't really heard a lot of people rave about day 1 from 2018 or 2019. Last year's day 1 was cool, but this year was better in my opinion. So that's my thoughts on day 1. Now let's get on with day 2. So I already talked about the instant spawns and how there's certain Pokemon that shouldn't have been spawning off of an instance and how there was like scatter all over the place. Obviously the major issue was that the spawn range went down. That was the major issue about day 2. I did not like that. They should have kept them as they were on day 1. Granted, I understand that they wanted people to do raids, but at the same time, I'm like, that don't mean turn down the shiny rates. You don't do that. Like, they shouldn't have done that. That's a major L, in my opinion. And actually, another major L, in my opinion, was they were teasing Hoopla, but Hoopla didn't show. So I'm like, what's the point of that? Like, are we gonna get an announcement that Hoopla was coming this week? What's going on? And we didn't even get any announcement. It might be a part of the Ultra Unlock challenge, like part 1 or even part 3. I didn't make no sense for it to be a part of part 2. But either way, no Hoopla, no mentions of Hoopla aside from the ring in the background of the game. But aside from that, there was nothing about Hoopla. So that was somewhat of an L as well. But at the same time, when you were doing all those raids, especially the tier 5 raids, you were getting 20,000 XP per raid without a lucky egg. With a lucky egg on, it was 40,000. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, that's a lot of XP. Also, you were getting a lot of Stardust as well. I think I'm now back at over 8 million again because of this. This was a great raid day because of the XP, because of the Stardust. A lot were gained there. So, there you go with my day 2 review. Now, there's one thing that we need to talk about that was, well, it's technically was not part of Go Fest, but took place during Go Fest weekend, so I'm gonna include it in there. The giant egg in Chicago. If you were at Chicago, that was a great experience for you. I can already tell that was a great experience for you. But because of how they were hyping it up and how they live streamed the thing and wanted people to watch it, and nothing happened involving the people who did watch it, it was a waste of time. Waste of time. It was pointless. Now, if one thing to say, if Niantic, who were in Chicago, said, hey, people who are near this egg, make sure you start a private lobby so you can invite your friends from all around the world so they can take part in this as well. It's one thing if they said that and the people of Chicago said, no, screw them. I'm focusing on me and everybody around me. That's different. We can't put the blame on Niantic in that part. In that case, we have to look at the city of Chicago like, bro, why y'all being selfish? Y'all should have sent your friends invites. I don't know if that happened. I'm assuming that it did not happen. So, the egg thing to me was an L. It was an L because everybody was watching it from around the world and it was like, okay, so what do we do besides watch? That's not exciting. I mean, it's not exciting, you know, so the hype was crazy, but once we saw what it was like, no, that ain't it. So, 3 things, well, we didn't know. 2 things should have happened here. Or no, 3 things should have happened, I think. Yeah, 3 things should have happened. One of them is kind of hard for it to happen, but you know, I'll throw it out there anyway. The first thing that should have happened, or one of the 3 things that should have happened rather, was that there should have been more eggs. So all them cities that had that GoFest photo booth, like San Francisco and what was it, New York and all that stuff. And now granted, there were certain spots within those cities, but there should have been an egg at least one of those cities. And you know, people should be able to show up and do those raids like the people of Chicago would be able to. But again, it would be hard because you're talking about splitting up the Niantic team, and then there's COVID and all that stuff. You gotta get the park's permission. So I understand they want to keep that down to one spot. So there's that. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know how realistic that would have been, but I'm just throwing it out there. The second thing that they should have done, or done, I guess, yeah, the second thing that they could have done was get people involved, like all around the world. Like, I don't know how, I don't know what way, but more people should have been involved aside from those who are in Chicago. Because I believe I saw there was about 667,000 people watching, and none of them were involved in any way, shape, or form. I think that's dumb. Now, granted, I was live streaming it this past Saturday, and one of my viewers actually got an invite from somebody from Chicago, so that was good. But aside from that, it was like, bruh, y'all should have got the people watching around the world involved with these eggs. Otherwise, it was pointless for us to watch it. It was pointless. It was timeless. You know, not timeless, but it was a waste of time rather. And then the third suggestion that I had was to not do it. They shouldn't have done the egg thing. Because again, it'd be going to negate or, you know, basically ignore everybody watching around the world and focus on Chicago. Then why should we watch? Like, why would you hype it up? Like, they were saying, oh, there's a giant egg here in Chicago, blah, blah, blah. And they were hyping it up like crazy. And I'm like, but what do we get from this? Are we doing just watching other people do raids? We didn't even see their actual end game. We don't even see the game. We just see the legendary just out there doing some fakes attacks and then go away. And then that's it. It was like, what was it? Mewtwo, Origin, Giratina, Dialga, and Rayquaza. And it was like, that was it. They just stood there, do a little flying move, do a little roar, and then they disappear. And I'm like, that was a waste of time. So that, to me, was an L. But unless you were actually in Chicago when it was doing those raids, yeah, that should have been a W for you guys. So, GoFest as a whole, on a scale of 1 to 5, GoFest Day 1, I gave that a 5. GoFest Day 2, looking back on it, I originally gave it a 3, but I think I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 as well. And then I got to include the egg. The egg bumped it down. So this year's GoFest, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. I mean, well, it was good, but it could have been so much better. It could have been so much better. So again, they should have fixed the incense spawns, in my opinion. They should have kept the shiny rates on day 2. And if they would have done that, it would have went from a 3 to a 4, in my opinion. And what could have made it a 5 if they would have not done the egg thing. If they would have not live streamed the egg thing and kept that under wraps or whatever, then that would have been fine. It would have been a 5 out of 5. So it's a 3 out of 5. It was average. It was average. It wasn't bad. It was good, but it wasn't great. It was just good. And I'm gonna call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know who this is. This is boy New J Gatsby, aka New Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah. Pokemon Unite will be out, and I am so excited.
I'm so excited!
Subscribe. Thanks, man. Do it. After you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click the bell icon so you never miss a new video or a live stream ever again. Thanks, guys.
Lewis the trainer, articulating paint. With my tongue, I done things that people said I can't. Now they rank them with the elite, but it's for the people, and victory is part of defeat. Cause when you get back on your feet, then you try again. Learn from mistakes, show them that I got what it takes, and I'm dying to win. I'ma hit and move away.